Hi, it's Fit Coach Kania, and I'm super excited to be here for session 2 of our 13-week Inform Metabolic Age Healing Experience, right? Okay, so listen, in short, what that means is that we are on week 2 of this journey. We want to do a little housekeeping here. Boop, boop. There you go. Oh, that's cool. All right. Um, week 2. And during this week, the title is goal setting, as states in the title. And it's all about learning how to create specific measurable goals so that you can experience success in the program and you know what you're aiming for. A lot of the times we get started in things like this and we have goals, but they're not specific, they're not measurable, and we don't always know we're making success. We want to make that easy. Okay? So, a couple of things to keep in mind. Like I have been on my wellness journey. Goodness, I'm going on a total. This is like year 2, or going into year 3, and it's a journey because whatever has your metabolic system functioning at higher than your chronological age, that's something that didn't happen overnight, and so it's not going to be fixed instantaneously. One of the reasons people tend to get sometimes frustrated, they're like, that others, they want to like do the quick fix, they want a quick pill, they want a surgery, is that just like it took a long time for us to get to this state, it's going to take a little bit of time for us to get back. The beautiful thing is to remember our bodies are engineered for wellness. Like we come here perfect, whole, and complete, right? Yes, there's some people who are born with specific ailments and things like that. Totally got it. And we are born perfect, whole, and complete, whatever that looks like for us. I did not come to this planet with the metabolism of an 84-year-old, but when I started this journey, that's what I had. Okay? So there are practices and lifestyle changes and things that you have to first become aware of, and then you have to change. That's a journey because it takes at least 21 days to start a new habit. And if you've been doing something for 20 plus years, it's probably going to take more than 21 days to reverse it. So above all, I want you to come to this from a space of love for yourself and patience with yourself, right? And knowing that it's all going to work out for your highest, best, and good. So just stick with it, all right? Goal setting. Let's get to our presentation. So setting goals, it sounds like, all right, easy enough, but the reality is that many of us don't know how to do that, okay? So let's just take a moment and look back at our assignment from last week. How did you do? So if you're new to this, you're like, I wasn't here, so I didn't do any kind of way, no problem. But if you were with me and you have started the program, you know that with Inform, this isn't a diet. It's about learning a different way to live and to eat. And as I said, there's a learning curve, okay? So how'd you do? Did you stick to it? Did you have some wins, have some losses? If you got your product, knowing you started it, how did that go? What did you learn? Learning could be like, wow, that's a lot of food. I thought I was going to be hungry, but surprisingly I wasn't. Or, man, that's a lot of food. I can't eat that much food. And it could be anything. And it all works. Okay. So just take a moment and write down at least 1 to 2 wins and one thing maybe that you learned. If this is your first time joining me, that's okay. Look back at your life and think about, what are some things that I won at, that I excelled at. I want to get people into the habit of acknowledging ourselves. We tend to sometimes be a little too hard on ourselves. And we want to take a moment and acknowledge what didn't work so well. What are some things that you know that you could or could do better, that you could do better? We also want to assess. We'll talk a little bit more about that. All right. So let's get into goal setting. So here's a couple of things what we want to keep in mind about food. Back in the day, 1927, or 85 years ago, this was in the American Women's Cookbook. The purpose of food is to satisfy hunger and to give pleasure. After hunger is satisfied, more food is a hindrance to health. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty much not how we operate with food these days. Food is a lot of things. A lot of times food is a comfort to us. You've heard the title comfort food. Okay. And so what doesn't work about that, okay, is that more food than you need to satisfy hunger starts to negatively impact your health. And that's what a lot of us are dealing with right now. Okay. So we got some more news. Oh, goodness. Listen, we're eating out a lot more. Back in 1960, maybe 25% or a quarter of our food budget was spent on food away from home. By 2011, we were at about half of that. We are busy people, and I totally get that. And trying to balance school and work and play means we eat more on the go. I'm not here to try to tell you that you should be home more. But if we're going to eat more food on the go, then one of the things we're going to have to learn is how do we do that and be healthier? The reality, though, is that while we're eating more and more meals away from home, particularly in America, we're also eating larger portions. The average restaurant meal today is 4 times larger than it was in the 50s. So where's all that food going? Where do we really need that much more food? I mean, let's just be honest. We are familiar with upsizing. If you go to a fast food restaurant and they say, do you want this to be a small, medium, or large? Yeah. Do we really need, have human beings evolved so much in the last, 60 years that we need 4 times as much food? No. No. So it's going to our hips, waistlines, chins. Yeah. We're eating way too much. So the goals with this program, right? So with the program, is to teach you how to eat better tasting food. It's interesting. Our taste buds are designed, to help us know something's good, bad, or even like poisonous, right? But there's certain things that can trick us. Like fried foods tend to taste better. But well-seasoned food also tastes great. What we don't always know is how to season. I'm going to touch on that. And my food tastes delicious. And people will be like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And I'm like, this is healthy? Yeah. If you don't know how to make healthy food taste good, you're not going to want it. If you're eating steamed broccoli, no seasoning, or it's like have some French fries. Yeah. So good tasting food. And how to achieve your weight goals, whether it be gaining or losing, how to save time and save money. That sounds like a lot, I promise, but we can. It's doable, okay? It's doable. Everything I'm going to talk about today, it's doable. And you can do this, okay? You are really, and keep in mind, you're the person who puts things into your mouth or out of your mouth, right? Like, no one is forcing you to eat anything. You do have the control. You can plan healthy meals, but you have to decide this is what you want to do. Okay? You can eat out less, you can eat more vegetables, you can plan healthy meals. Right? The changes that you're going to make are going to come bit by bit. Okay? It's not going to happen overnight. So that's why I say be patient. Be patient. But when you make these small changes, they do make a big difference. They make a huge difference. Okay? Okay. So let's talk about eating. All right. Because if we're eating way too much food, that's the first thing that we can easily change. How much food goes into our mouth and how often. So this is the hunger scale. It goes from 1 to 10, right? Here's the reality. With this program, I'm going to tell you we eat smaller meals about every 2 to 3 hours. So you eat about at least 5 meals a day. And by doing this, you're going to find yourself feeling less uncomfortable, less hungry. Because hunger, has a purpose. Make sure we're not starving to death. Okay? So you want to always try to eat before you get a 3 to a 3, which a 3 is considered you're hungry, you feel a little low on energy, and you're slightly uncomfortable. You don't want to let yourself get here. So by the time you get to a 4, like, oh, I'm a little hungry, and get yourself something to eat, okay? When you're here at 1 to 3, what it lets you know is that your cravings get stronger, and you're more likely to overeat. You'll be like, I'm so hungry, yum, 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 yum. One of the things you want to do with this particular program is you want to carry snacks, and you want to plan ahead. If you know you've got a really busy day, for me, like what I know I'm doing, like wellness expos and events like that, I throw snack bars, but like healthy snack bars, into my bag, so that if I'm at this convention center and they don't have really anything good for me to eat, that I'm going to be able to maintain. I'm not going to end up hangry, and my body's not going to be mad at me. And I'll keep those with me. Have some nuts or different things, right? I usually carry my I'll show you what I also carry my like a shaker cup with me, and it was with the smoothie packet. So all I really need for a good meal, if I'm on the go, is some water. And so with Nature's Sunshine, although our Inform doesn't come in individual packets yet, we're getting there, right? We do have both our Nature's Harvest and our Love and Peas that do. So I'll just take one of those packets and I'll stick it inside my shaker cup. And so then if I have water available to me, it may not be the best tasting meal, because usually I mix these with a bunch of good stuff. But my commitment is, of course, to my health and well-being. So I can just chug that down, nutrients in, hunger satiated, and then I keep on moving. So those are some of the things they say, plan ahead. Like look at your day and realize, oh, this is going to be a crazy day. Let me make sure I have some things with me on the go. Okay? You want to stop eating when you get to a 7 on that hunger scale. You're full. Here on the 7, you're feeling full. Stop eating. Or don't even start eating yet. Like if you're down here at a 7, you don't need to eat anything yet. You're not even hungry. So if you start like poking around in the refrigerator here, but you're not really hungry, you got to start to ask yourself, what's really going on? Am I bored? Am I sad? Am I trying to distract myself? Because sometimes those are the reasons that we eat. Looking for something to do. Okay? All right, let's move on to your influence. Okay? According to the best-selling book, Change Anything, there are 6 influences at play with every aspect of our lives. And if we are prepared to make a change, so getting healthier, being well, we can make those 6 sources work for us. All right? We need you to bring the personal motivation. Okay, so these are the areas. So we got personal, social, and structural. And then there's 2 things, motivation and ability. If you can get 4 of these 6 boxes checked off to support you in whatever this is you're trying to change, you're more likely to succeed. All right? You can bring your own personal motivation, but we can help with these other areas. Okay? So let's look at how that works. So your personal motivation. So the book is Change Anything by Carrie Patterson, Joseph Grenny, David Maxfield, Ron McMillan, and Al Switzler. All right, written in 2011. So great book. So your personal motivation. Listen, at the end of the day, you have to know what's your why. Okay? I can't tell you why you want to do this. So when we talk about goal setting, you want to take a moment and get really clear. For some of you who are here, listen, it's because your doctor has told you, real talk, your doctor has told you, you got to make a change. So your personal motivation could be, I'm afraid I might die, or I'm pre-diabetic and I might become diabetic, right? Or whatever it may be. For me, it's because I was covered in hives, okay, and in pain, itching. My hair was falling out, right? And I didn't know what was going on. And so I was motivated to figure out what the problem was. And my allopathic doctors, so that's more traditional Western medicine that most people are used to, they couldn't find anything wrong with me. All the tests they ran, and like, your numbers look great. Technically, I was in good health. But if I show you the pictures, any of those pictures available? Really easy. Let me see. If I show you those pictures, let me tell you what was very clear. I wasn't in good health, right? What was going on with me and my body, you know, made it very clear that I wasn't in good health. And I'm sure if I can pull them up real quick. So it became, yeah, let me throw this in the window real quick. I'll show you what we were working with back then. Don't be alarmed, right? So what I was working with at that time, right? That's what was, oh, well, that was when we started to win again. Like, throw that one in there, right? This is what I was dealing with. Oh, that's a major event. But, right? There are hives here. This is all swollen. Look at that, my neck, right? These hives at one point went all the way down to my kneecaps. Look at the swelling. Look at all that, right? This was my personal motivation. This is when I was moving towards healing. This is the aftermath. Look at that, right? Okay, that's what I was dealing with. That was my why. You've got to know what your why is. And I had to go this route because there wasn't anything that my regular just could tell me. The only thing they could give me was prednisone, steroids to suppress my immune system because they couldn't help me heal. Then there's personal ability. This isn't about willpower. This is about actual knowledge and skill, okay? Sometimes we don't know how to be healthy, right? We don't know how to make good choices. We don't know how to make good food that actually tastes good. So what I'm going to be helping you with over the next few weeks is getting the skills you need to be successful. That's why I'm here. So that then you'll have the ability, not just the desire. Because having the desire to do better, but not knowing how to do better, yeah, baby, not gonna help you that much. Okay, so social motivation and ability. Being part of this group, being part of the Facebook group and having your accountability partner, it's going to help keep you motivated, right? And we're going to also try to help you create within your own personal life, your own social circle, help you help them help you. And that sounds like a lot of helping. But if the people around you are pulling for your health and well-being, it makes it so much easier, I promise, to be healthy and well, because the people around you also want you to be healthy and well. So they're going to support you. Structural motivation. Yes. Listen, when you do good, you're going to get acknowledged. You're going to get prizes. You're going to get rewards. Who doesn't like to get treats? We all do. And listen, there are different things that motivate different people, right? Some people are competitive. Doesn't matter. We have built into this program a lot of different tools so that hopefully we'll touch on one of the things that's going to resonate with you and have you keep going, okay? The other thing that we're going to do with the program is help you master your food environment. So structural ability. Again, if you want to be healthy, but you don't actually have things around you to support you in that, if you don't have healthy snacks, how can you snack healthy? When I go into certain areas, And I know that it's not a health area like where I live. I chose because I knew I wanted to be around somewhere I could get healthy food. If you live in an area, for example, this one type of, if you look around your environment, like in your pantry, in your refrigerator, but then even moving outside of your home to your neighborhood, right? Does your neighborhood pull for health? You know, are there mostly fast food restaurants, or do you have like Whole Foods? And not that I'm telling you have to move, but that's something to be aware of. Wow, does the environment I live in support the lifestyle I want to live? Now, the answer is no, no big deal. Doesn't mean you have to move, but it may mean that you have to actually do some extra things. And this is where individual coaching takes place. This is when you're like, so look, Coach Kania, all there's around me are fast food restaurants, right? One of my favorite things that has happened recently is one of my favorite stores, Aldi, has moved to non-GMO, and they're getting more and more organic options. They got gluten-free food. Aldi's tends to be in the hood. I'm gonna find that article real quick for you. And like after I have to find it, but Aldi's become one of the most healthy grocery stores. I was trying to see if I could find it. Well, here's one. We'll pull this one. This was published in January. Came out in January of this year. Here, for Business Insider. It says Aldi's is fixing its biggest weakness, and that should terrify Whole Foods, right? And it talks about how they're upping up organic. They already do. Oh, I'm sorry. You're still looking at me, and I'm looking at the screen. Let me switch that. I'm all into this article. These are, like, I'm a nerd. You should know that. But looking here, so like all these, adding more gluten-free. You know, they offer organic already. So, you know, do some research on all these, because I love it. All these is pretty low cost. It's definitely not a luxury grocery store, but what it is a grocery store that allows people to afford healthy food. And Kroger's, which is in a lot of communities, or like the stores related to Kroger. If you look at, let me just go to Kroger. I'm going to Kroger so I can find what I'm looking for. They have a whole healthy living section, right? And I want to find it. It's usually around, I'm looking in their digital coupons. Natural foods, yes, there we go. Kroger's has an entire natural food section, okay? Gluten-free, vegan, like that whole, their Simple Truth brand. That's what I was looking for. So listen, this Simple Truth brand is not just in Kroger's. It's in a lot of different stores. So this is what I was looking for, Simple Truth. And if you want to know where to buy it, so this is their land. This is the brand, Simple Truth. And there's Simple Truth and there's Simple Truth Organic. And I want to be clear with that. The Simple Truth Organic is with the Kroger family of stores. So there's these different retailers. So depending on where you live. So look at this. Baker's, City Market, Dillon's, Fry's, Gerby's, Payless, QFC, JC, King Soopers, Kroger, Owens, Ralph Smith, Fred Meyer, Food for Less. You can find the Simple and Organic line, and there's Simple Truth and there's Simple Truth Organic. So there's a big difference, okay? But we'll get more to that. Let me not get after that. I get so excited about that because that used to be a big barrier for people. You're right. You want to be your own social scientist. Here's the thing. One thing doesn't fit for every single person. This program is designed to be highly customizable, okay? And for you to be like, man, what works for me? This is why it's important that you use your coach and you use the resources available to you to figure out how to make it work for your lifestyle, okay? And listen, remember that failure is nothing but an opportunity for you to learn. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you got everything perfectly from the beginning, Well, not that you would already be doing it right. Like we know that there's something to learn, because if there wasn't, you wouldn't be here. So it's just when you fail at something or you don't meet your goal, it just lets you know there's something to fix, something to tweak. And you go in there, you tweak it, and you get back in business. Okay? So one of the things you're going to need to do is keep a food journal. The reason is that when you keep a journal, people tend to lose more weight, but when you keep a journal of everything, you tend to have more success because it increases your awareness of what you're doing, why you're doing it, all that good stuff. So the more detailed your journal, the better. So in your workbook, you'll see a list of different things that you can track outside of just what you're eating. But the size, your portion size, you can track the amount of water that you're consuming every day. I'm going to take a quick drink myself. Who was around when you were eating, so to look at who was a good influence, maybe not such a good influence, how much time you're exercising, how with the frequency. Ladies, we can track our cycles. A lot of times we can start to correlate sometimes food cravings and things with our cycles. Tracking your stress levels. You start to see when you're stressed out, what do I do versus when I'm calm. You can track energy levels. So like take a moment and put a check mark in your workbook against the things that you like to track. And then track it. Everyone doesn't want to track the same thing. So, again, this is about where we customize it for you. This is about you and what works for you. I want you to remember that. Remember, failure is like, we relate to it like a 4-letter word, but it really is just an indication that there's something to learn. So what I want you to do is to instead work on being smart, okay? And SMART goals are specific, they're measurable, they're accountable, they're realistic, and they're time-bound, okay? When you set SMART goals, you set yourself up to win. When you don't have goals that are specific and measurable, here's the problem. You'll be doing stuff, but it's like, am I winning the game? Am I not winning the game? Because if you haven't created something that you need to look at it, it's just like, if I want to be at half my body weight in ounces of water a week or a day, I'm sorry, not a week, goodness, a day, by week 2 of the program. Because again, we're ramping things up. So we can look at our journal. You could be like, all right, on this day, I had 64 ounces of water. And then on this day, I got it up to 84. Oh, I'm at 100 ounces, right? And depending on how much you weigh, either you hit the goal or you didn't hit the goal. You can measure it. Week 1, I was here. And then by week 2, oh, I hit my goal. So that's why I want them to be specific. I want them to be measurable. So you should be able to just look at it. Either it happened or it didn't happen. Okay? Is that like, well, I drank more water. That's great. How much more? And then where by when do you want to get to this particular goal called the recommended amount of water intake? I want to be there, let's say, by week 3. And then give yourself time to ramp up. Really be gentle with yourself. Sometimes we want to go. We're just, tomorrow I'm going to get there. Sometimes that's not realistic. If you've been drinking 1 glass of water every 2 days, then tomorrow you're not going to get to half your body weight in ounces. You can say, I want to double my water consumption every week. So goals, SMART goals. Set yourself up to win. Give yourself, an opportunity to experience success. Listen, at the end of the day, either you have a plan of action or you have a plan of inaction. The reality is that, which one do you want to be with? If you do not have a plan, there's your plan. The plan is to not plan, and my plan, therefore, is to fail. If you get in the car and you say, I want to go somewhere. I say, well, where do you want to go? I don't know. You just start driving. There's no telling where you'll end up. Could be good, but the odds are, who knows where the hell you'll end up, right? Have a plan. We cannot hope our way to health. Nothing that's worthwhile happens, okay, because you just start doing some stuff. Put together some goals, write them down so that we can track them and that I can support you in having them come to be. One of the things what I want you to do is to visit my site, which is fitcoachkania.com. And when you get to the site, give me 2 seconds to pull it up for you. So here's the site. There's this tool called the assessment. Click it. Most of you will have done it by now, right? If you haven't done it, fill it out, okay? Why? When we do this assessment, it allows us to look at where you are, and then we can start to measure. It's one of the things that we can start to measure, because it gives us an idea of where you are, and then we can get to where you're going, okay? So you've got some homework. Read Module 2. So we've gone over most of what's in Module 2, right? I want you to review it, read it. You want to create a solid plan to meet your goals. This is where you might need some assistance, and that's okay, okay? Keep your food journal. Check your hunger scale before each meal. Just a quick check-in, where am I? Try to follow the meal plan, eating eating balanced meals every 2 to 3 hours. Identify the areas of influence that you want, at least 4 of them, they're going to pull you forward into a win. And if you haven't started the products, get started on them. The supplements, I promise you will see a lot more success a lot faster if you choose to use the supplements. And if you don't, well, you won't. And as I said, I promised you, you will see success. And then here's an exercise tip. Plan your workouts ahead of time. Set out your gym shoes and your workout gear, have it in the car. But then this is another one that I like to give people, because a lot of the people talk to me about the workout. They're like, I just don't have any time. I'm already busy. I want you to consider, if you are a commuter, if you have a 9 to 5, how much time do you spend in the car after work trying to get home in rush hour? For most people, like if your job is maybe say 20 minutes from your house, like if you were to drive there in the middle of the night with no traffic, it will take you anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to get there with traffic. So when you're trying to, say you get off work at 5 and you're getting home around 6:30. Here's my suggestion. Get off work at 5 like you normally do. You get your exercise in for 30 minutes and then drive home. By the time you get done working out, traffic will have died down. And so you're going to get home faster. It doesn't mean that you'll get home earlier, is not what I'm saying. But if you get off work at 5 and you normally get home around 6:30 because you're in traffic, and you get off work at 5 and you take 30 minutes to walk or perhaps do a yoga class, right? What's great about yoga, you can do it anywhere. You don't have to go to a gym. If you have a mat and your clothes and you have like your computer, you could easily watch a video, a YouTube video, which will guide you through a yoga class. Find a 30-minute, because we only need 30 minutes, right? And then you get into your car and you drive. You're probably still going to get home at 6:30. But what you will have done, as opposed to having sat in traffic for all that time frustrated, you would have gotten your movement in. So that's just something to consider, okay? Because I want you to win, right? And trying to find time to put in new practices can sometimes be a challenge. So next week, we're going to be talking about losing weight by losing toxicity. Being toxic gets in the way of a lot of our health and well-being. If you're not here for weight loss, no problem. If you are, great. It's not that we're going to detox our way to your ideal weight, but you are going to learn how toxicity can play a part in what's going on. If you saw some of those pictures I posted, what was really going on with me is I was toxic. And my toxins weren't so much coming from the food I was eating. They were actually being generated. A lot of my issues, now we'll talk about the world of stress and how that impacts your health a little bit later, because that was where most of mine was coming from. Stress and emotional distress, long-term, chronic, over 20 years of emotional distress that really was stuck in my body, and that was what was toxic with me. And I had to learn how to deal with that. Um, that may not be your story. That's why I said this program is comprehensive. We go through a little bit of everything, and you're gonna find the thing that's there for you. And then we're here, and I'm here to support you in moving through that and releasing it, and then allowing your body to do what it was built to do, which is be well and allow you to be healthy, allow you to move through life and do what you want to do with your life and with your time. This is Fit Coach Kania. This has been a Wellness Wednesday informational session 2 of our 13-week wellness program. Thank you for joining me. Until the next time, be well and stay fabulous.